Hey guys, been an onlooker on Reddit for a while now and have read stories of betrayal through cheating, seeing so many situations that reminded me of my old pain, but I came out with this in the end. You can too. This is my first ever post, so bear with me. I don't have everything down correctly. Here's the bulk of it. I shared this with another commenter months ago. I really should have made this into an actual post, but I didn't know if I was ready. Sorry, it's a bit long. Years ago, I was best friends with this girl, C is her first initial. We knew each other since we were kids. Her family and mine all knew one another. And we were close, the kind that finishes each other's sentences close. C and I were always there for each other. I helped her through some crazy stuff. Her mom had healthcare scares, but everything was okay. And she got me through a bad breakup in high school. C and I had some attraction to each other growing up, but we never acted on it. Afraid that something could go wrong and ruin our friendship, even though she was insanely beautiful. Her and her mom and sisters. I kept everything purely platonic, but I would often notice some of her boyfriends she had were a lot like me, and she would always fight with them and about comparing them to me. I always felt responsible for these breakups and told her after her last that maybe we needed to spend more time away from one another so she could figure out what she wanted. She texted me the next day and saying that she wanted to talk at her house. Got nervous because I didn't know what to expect. She sat me down in her living room and told me everything, that she was in love with me and wanted more than just being friends. At first I thought it was a joke, because when this happened it was on April Fool's. I can't make this up. But then she kissed me and I was hooked. I kept thinking how dumb I was constantly avoiding this chance that I had with her. Little did I know. Things with us was perfect. I literally felt like a king that found his queen. Our families were ecstatic, in full pre-wedding mode, even though we were by now first starting college. Her dad said to me with a grin on his face, "About time." I was wondering what was taking so long. We did everything together. We had a lot of good times and bad, and we always faced them and never hid anything from each other. Yep. She was really looking like the love of my life material and constantly told me how much she would love me forever. I was on cloud 9 until I noticed in later months that she and my younger cousin, male 18, were hanging out a lot recently. My cousin wasn't exactly the most responsible person in the world. His dad left him when he was 8, but I always looked out for him and considered him a little brother. I noticed he would at times look at my girl the way dudes look at any girl they're on the hunt for, and calmly asked him what was going on, and he would sheepishly say nothing and walk away. I didn't pay any attention to it at the time. One night when C and I were chilling in my dorm watching a movie, she randomly said, "Please don't ever leave me," in a sad voice. I told her that would never happen, but all she did was give me a sad smile. After that, things started taking a turn. She grew distant and kept withdrawing from me. Even when we had sex, as much as we loved it, it felt like it was becoming a routine to keep me happy instead of keeping us happy. This went on for about 5 months. Then, by Valentine's Day, she was back to normal, all loving, fun, and full attention. I even bought her a diamond necklace with money that I'd saved up. It was a good day, which makes what happened all the more bitter. I had plans that I was going to propose to her that night, but I'd forgotten to get the ring from my dorm. After I dropped her off, I went back to my car and checked to see if it was there before I drove away to my dorm, and sure enough, it was there. Dropped it under the seat. As I was getting ready to go back in to surprise her, I saw my cousin drive by and park right in front of her house. My car was in the shadows, so he didn't see me, but he went to the door. C opened it, and they were talking. He kept trying to kiss her, and she feebly told him no, but then they were in full makeout mode. She took him by the hand and they went inside. Didn't even bother closing the door fully. I was livid. I actually started breathing hard and heavy like I was going to pass out. I couldn't believe what I just saw. My heart was telling me to wait before I did anything crazy, but my brain just said, "Finish this." I got out and ran to the door quietly, going inside the house. No sooner did I go in, I hear her in the living room moaning wildly and him grunting. I was seeing red, but I'm staying in control. I took out my phone, hit record, quietly walked to a corner of the living room, and saw what I could never unsee. Her riding him, bouncing like some damn banshee. Once I had enough proof, I called her out, and they both freaked out. She jumped right off of him, and they looked at me speechless. Then she went into sobbing mode, claiming, "I can explain, please don't hate us." My cousin was pale, knowing I could easily beat him into oblivion. But I didn't stay around. I showed her the ring, told her, "You threw this away," and left. I got what I needed and just left, as they chased after me, putting on their clothes, trying to BS their way out of getting caught. Then came the insane text. Things like, "I'm sorry, please talk to me. It's not what you think. You don't know his story. It just happened one time. He was being a good friend, and he was helping me, and I couldn't tell you. Don't break us. We can fix this. You're being petty and immature." And my favorite, it didn't even last long. To finish, she tried to shift blame onto me when I didn't respond, but that all just went to shit for her when I exposed her, and the fallout was a nuclear mess. Her sisters, except the youngest, tried to blame me for all of it and trick me into taking her back, but I wasn't having it. Then they told me it was going on for 5 months. Around the time I noticed them getting close, she basically kept sleeping with both of us, no protection from him. I knew right there I was done with her. They were barely clothed when I busted them. Her in her only bra and him in only his damn socks. It was like watching porn only in real time, and me as an unwilling audience. The sounds and things she did with him in that moment, I thought only I could get her excited like that. She claimed she always loved my body. I work out a good amount, but seeing her bouncing on his bony ass, I have to admit, made me feel insecure for a time. There was no reconciliation there. All I could think was, I'm driving away from them, was what did I do wrong? I gave her everything and got rewarded with her backstabbing. When we were dating, she was on birth control except for one time. I usually wrap up. I was glad I did, since my prick cousin went raw on her and probably finished inside her, and never yelled at her, never mistreated or ignored her. If she was happy, I was happy knowing she was happy. We knew each other our whole lives, and I foolishly thought she was the one. One time we went to a tarot card reading at the mall, and the lady there told me that a great love would find me. I told her she already did, referring to C. She gave my girl a funny look. That should have been one of the red flags right there. Not a day goes by when I'm not thankful I caught her. I would have married her not knowing the kind of person she really is. The aftermath, as I mentioned, was cataclysmic. After I nuked them both, her parents kept blowing up my phone demanding to know what happened, saying C was inconsolable. She made so I basically told them what happened. My mom dropped to the floor and her father just kept apologizing to me, saying I didn't deserve this. Sides were made in this, and a lot of friendships were broken on both of our families. Her two sisters, the youngest, didn't know the full story at the time, along with our circle of friends, kept attacking my phone with texts saying I needed to talk to her, and the oldest wanted me to take her back, even coming up with some BS excuse about a mental defect she just magically happens to have, like I should be the one to rug sweep her cheating. She made the decision to cheat on me. Then they told me everything about how and when it happened. Those 5 months, she would tell me that she was making up some overtime at her work and how her coworkers would cover for her, and how nervous he got seeing me when I went to see him and my aunt. I was a trusting fool that always wanted to see the best in people, and I got burned for it. C kept calling me constantly. In her voicemails, her voice always sounded tired and strained from crying and saying that I shouldn't do this. She felt like a part of her had died when I left and begged to speak to me, claiming that I swore I'd never leave her. I couldn't allow myself to hear her anymore, so I blocked her. I never responded to any of her messages. My cousin tried a few times to reach me, but I ignored him too. I never forgot the smug smile he threw when I saw him in my rearview window as I drove off. I knew if I saw him, I would want to hurt him, and I could easily do it, and he knew this. But no jail time is worth my freedom. My aunt told me that he felt guilty, yeah right, and told me that he did what he did because he wanted to know what it was like to be me. I was done after that. I went no contact with both of them, moved away, and never looked back. I was 22 at the time, she was 20, and he was 18. The first year was tough. I was never cheated on before, and it really messed with my head, but I had plenty of friends to help me out, and my mom and dad were a great support system. My buddies actually took me on a trip with them to France, to help clear my head. It was the best thing to happen to me. Seeing the Eiffel Tower, eating some mandolines, and learning some French really helped boost up my confidence. And getting to sketch some French girls nude really gave me that extra boost. I'm now a 27-year-old graphic designer making good money, enjoying my life. Went on some dates, but nothing concrete. Then a few months ago, one of the last people I expected contacted me, C's youngest sister, said that she got my new number from my parents and wanted to catch up with me. I was always cool with her, so we started texting and catching up, and she and I really clicked. It felt new and exciting with her. Last time I saw her, she was a cute skinny kid with braces, but when she sent me a pic of her now, my jaw dropped. She was out of the world stunning. The ladies in her family were always gorgeous, but puberty took its time on her. We recently met up and she hugged me so tight. I honestly did not want to let her go. We started hanging out a lot and she told me a little info about what happened after I left. Apparently my cousin did knock up C that night. They decided to try something for the baby, but he cheated on her and then she cheated on him. Things really went south for them when she gave the baby up for adoption. After that, C moved on to LA. Don't know or care what happened to my cousin. She said that she never forgave her sister for hurting me and said that she used to have fantasies of me and her playing house. She had a crush on me and said that she always thought about me and I was the perfect guy that her sister didn't deserve. I told her I like her too. I would like to start dating her if she'd have me. So that's where I am right now. Good job, good life, and I'm falling in love again. And I'm happy. I learned a lot from my experiences and wanted to share my inputs when I see posts put up to let people know there is life after infidelity, to remind people it's never too late to start over, and more importantly, never settle for second best. It worked for me and it can work for them. Again, I'm sorry for how long it is. If you're still here, thanks for hearing me out. Now for the top of advices before reading the update. What did C say or her parents say when you started dating the younger sister? Her folks, who I always got along with, were surprisingly supportive. Her dad's nickname for me was son-in-law, so when everyone found out about me and their youngest getting together, he said with a pat on my back, "I got my son-in-law back. He really is a chilled dude." Her mom was cool with A, my girlfriend's initial, being happy, but I could feel some tension with me. I think she always thought that C and I would work it out and get back together in the end. She's at least civil with me. C was pissed when she found out. Started talking about how she had plans to win me back, but A wasn't having it. From what A told me, it got ugly. The eldest sister actually had to step in and stop them. Now for the update. Well guys, I'm back with some new updates and how the confrontation with C went after 5 years of no contact with her, and boy did it get messy. A and I went to her folks' house to an event celebrating her little cousin, A's birthday. I didn't understand why she was so excited at first, but this was her favorite cousin, and he taught her how to play the piano. So I guess she wanted to show me off to him. The dude was pretty cool too and was a beast on those keys. The party was good and everyone was having fun with A and I talking to her parents. Her dad still joking about wedding dates with us. Everything was flowing well. Then through the crowd, I see the old circle with C as their ringleader. I was amazed to see how good she still looked. She still had that laugh I used to love and was turning to be the center of attention. I still wasn't completely ready to face her, so I turned away so that she didn't see me. A few more hours pass. The party's winding down and everyone's getting ready to leave. A tells me that she'll be right back and goes to the bathroom while I talk to some people that ask me about my graphic designing. A few moments pass and all of a sudden we are all there with her in the living room, C and A having the biggest shouting match in the backyard patio, even getting close to blows. All while eldest sister is trying to calm them both down. C starts raging on about how I was stolen from her and that A had no right to go after me, that sisters don't go after each other's boyfriends. I shot back by yelling, "Then you should have left your effing legs closed." C pushes eldest sister out of the way and tried to take a swing at A, but A blocked it and was about to knock her on her ass until I ran in between them. I had enough of this. I had enough of seeing the girl that I loved and the ex, her sister, that broke me at each other's throats. This shit was ending now. I took A to the side, checking A, and yelled at C, "The hell's wrong with you? It's your little sister." She finally snapped out of it and was and she was looking at me. The first time in years we're seeing each other eye to eye. She says with her voice cracking, "You came." The eyes on all of us from the living room to the backyard was all kinds of tense. Their parents were so embarrassed. I felt so bad for them. Her eyes watered up and she asked if we could talk. I knew there was no going back, so I said yeah, but on one condition. A stays here with me. She tried to argue that she wanted us to talk alone, but I said this is not how it's going to go down. Either she stays or I walk. It really made no difference to me. I wanted A to stay because I have no secrets from her. She opened up to me so much. I wasn't going to keep her out of this, not with her own family. She's part of my family now, so she deserved to be part of this. We moved to the pool area and then it started like this. Me, so what's up? C, you look good. Blue was always your color. It really is good to see you. Me, not taking her bait but being polite. Thanks. What's this about? What do you want? C, I know I don't deserve anything from you, but I just want you to know that I thought a long time about what I did to you. You were so good to me and I screwed it all up. Believe me when I say I don't know why I did what I did. Me, that's a damn lie and you know it. C then starts trembling and whispering. C, I don't know how much you know about AP and I had a daughter named Annalise. I was getting pissed. When we were together for those 3 years, we talked about what our first kid was going to be named. If a boy, Elkin, if a girl, Annalise. Annalise was my grandmother's name and she adored C when we were little. The fact that she still named her kid after my grandmother had me seeing red for a little bit. Even A was surprised by this. I'm guessing C never told her family the baby's name before giving her away. A took my hand and rubbed it. We stared at each other before C cleared her throat, giving a nasty look at her sister. C, why is she still here? This is between us. Me, there is no us. A and I have been together for a year, and it's meant more to me than the 3 years I was with you. Looking at A, I love her and I want a future with her. A was tearing up, smiling at me, holding my hand. It kind of hurt. LOL. Me, whatever you say to me, you say to her. C, she's been obsessed with you for years. She used to write love poems and recite them to her stuffed animals thinking you were playing house. You're not supposed to be with her, you're supposed to be with me. Me, looking at A, smiling. You wrote poems about me, can I see them? A blushed, smiling back and said, they're pretty lame. Me, let me be the judge of that. C, cutting us off, look, I know you're with her just to hurt me and I get it. Eye for an eye, you with my sister, me with AP, can we just start over? I'm better now. I made a shitty mistake and I'm so sorry. I'm human. People mess up. But I learned to be better. I can get back your trust. Let me make it up to you. Will you at least give me that? The stone's on this girl, I swear. At this point, I was done. Me, you wasted that years ago when you chose to betray me on Valentine's Day of all days. No, you need to hear this. For those 5 years, I kept asking myself, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? It took some real soul searching to see that the problem wasn't falling in love with you, it was being blinded by you. I used our friendship to blind me for what you really were and why your boyfriends before never stuck around. You're empty, always looking for someone to fill that glass of nothingness inside you. You never figured out what you wanted. I won't be another pouring into your glass. I honestly thought seeing you was going to be tougher than this, but I don't feel anything for you anymore. I had plenty of time with new people, new hobbies, and new places. I've been to help me heal. What we had was fun, but we're different people now. I don't see the girl I grew up with when I look at you, just someone that needs to get themselves together. I found my special someone and it's A. I love your sister, and I'm hoping one day we'll get married when the time's right. You want to make it up to me? Be a better sister. Get your shit together and stop this fighting. You used to be her hero. Start trying to earn those points back and go from there. C was in tears, shaking as if someone dropped a bomb on her. She knew right there that this was over between any reconciliation that she had planned. She was trying to say something, but ultimately she shut her mouth and then shook her head to me as in accepting it, I guess. She then asked to speak to A alone and called over eldest sister. So I gave them space. At the end, all the sisters cried and hugged each other. I think they finally came to an understanding. Their mom, who watched them, looked at me with tears holding my hand, kept saying thank you to me. Their dad also thanked me with a big hug. This whole thing was overwhelming. When it was over, A's broke down into my arms. She kept saying to me, said C gave us her blessing that she loved me. She also asked if it was okay if she stayed with her sisters for a while at home with the family, saying they need to finally properly catch up, to which I told her it's okay. She needs this right now. I told her when she's ready to call me. She still owes me those poems. Finally got home to type this out. God, what a day, but I feel better, truly better. Got my peace and helped my girlfriend's family start the long line to repair. Never thought I would ever be able to get to this, but I did. I can keep looking to this brighter future with shades. To all the ladies and fellows in the world, and on the sub reading my story, I want to remind you, all that life doesn't stop at heartbreak. You gotta keep pushing no matter how hard it seems. Always strive for better and never anything secondhand. We are not plan Bs. We have these scars as reminders of our surviving the worst pain that we can turn into a power. I know how cliche and laughable this sounds, but time, patience, and good company really do make a huge difference. It's never too late. You are worth it. We all are. Survive, friends, survive. This might be my very last post, but again, thank you so much for reading this. And again, I'm sorry for the length. I didn't want to leave anything out. Good vibes, everyone. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.